a simple metal can became more valuable than a tank. Because without fuel, even the strongest army grinds to a halt. In the grand theater of World War II, we often picture the titans of the battlefield, the formidable Tiger tank, the roaring Spitfire, the steadfast Sherman. But what if I told you that one of the most decisive pieces of equipment in the entire conflict wasn't a weapon at all? It was a simple metal can, a container so brilliantly designed that it became more valuable than a tank. Because without fuel, even the strongest army grinds to a halt. This is the story of the Wehrmacht Einheitskanister, the humble canister that the world would come to know as the Jerrycan. Our story begins not on the battlefield, but on a German engineer's drafting table in 1937. As Hitler's war machine prepared for a new kind of warfare, blitzkrieg, or lightning war, they faced a monumental logistical challenge. Fast-moving panzer divisions would need a constant, reliable supply of fuel, far from established depots. The standard fuel containers of the day were flimsy, leaky, and a logistical nightmare. They were either cylindrical drums that rolled around and wasted space, or thin, easily punctured tins that required a separate funnel and spanner just to open. Spills were common, creating fire hazards and wasting precious fuel. The German High Command needed something better, something robust, efficient, and revolutionary. Enter the Wehrmacht Einheitskanister, or Armed Forces Unit Canister. Its design was a masterclass in functional engineering. Forged from pressed steel, its flat rectangular sides meant it could be stacked neatly and densely, maximizing storage space in trucks and supply dumps. An air pocket was cleverly designed into the top, allowing the can to float if dropped in water and to expand or contract with temperature changes without rupturing. An internal lining prevented rust from contaminating the fuel, a common problem at the time. But the true genius lay in its three-handle design. This wasn't just for show. One man could comfortably carry 2 empty cans in one hand. Or he could carry a single full can, which weighed about 45 pounds, using the center handle for balance. 2 men could easily share the load of one can by grabbing the 2 outer handles, perfect for passing them down a human chain. This simple feature drastically sped up refueling operations, a critical advantage in the fast-paced blitzkrieg. Then there was the mouth of the can. It featured a large cam lever release cap that was permanently attached, so it could never be lost. It created a perfect leak-proof seal and could be opened or closed by hand in seconds, without any tools. The spout was designed with a small air-breathing tube that ran alongside it, allowing fuel to pour out in a smooth, glug-free stream. This meant faster refueling with far less spillage. Every detail was meticulously planned for efficiency and durability. It was, in short, the perfect container for modern mechanized war. When the war began, the Germans had their secret weapon, and it wasn't a V-2 rocket. It was this canister. As panzer divisions sliced through Poland and France, their logistical lifeline was secured by millions of these brilliantly designed cans. The Allies, meanwhile, were struggling. The British were using flimsy 4-gallon tins that were so prone to leaking they earned the nickname Flimsies. It was estimated that for every 10 gallons of fuel that left the UK, only 5 actually made it to the front lines in North Africa. The rest was lost to leaks and evaporation under the desert sun. The American equivalent, a 5-gallon can, was slightly better, but still required a wrench and funnel, slowing everything down. The tide began to turn, thanks to a bit of battlefield espionage. An American engineer stationed in London, Paul Pleiss, had encountered the German cans before the war. He knew how superior they were. During the North Africa campaign, Allied soldiers began capturing these German cans, which they nicknamed Jerrycans, Jerry being slang for a German soldier. The British were so impressed that they immediately began reverse engineering them. They sent a captured can back to London, and soon British factories were producing their own identical copies. The United States was initially hesitant to adopt the foreign design. They tried to improve their existing model, but the results were still subpar. However, as the scale of the impending invasion of Europe became clear, the logistical demands were staggering. The planned D-Day landings and the subsequent push across France would require an unimaginable amount of fuel. General Eisenhower and his planners realized they needed the best tool for the job, and that was the Jerrycan. The U.S. government placed massive orders, and American industry rose to the challenge. By 1944, factories were churning out millions of jerrycans. These cans became the lifeblood of the Allied advance. Following the breakout from Normandy, the legendary Red Ball Express was formed, a massive non-stop convoy of trucks, driven primarily by African-American soldiers that raced to keep Patton's Third Army supplied as it charged across France. Their cargo, ammunition, food, and above all, fuel, all of it transported in millions of American-made jerrycans. Day and night, these trucks thundered along the roads of France, their beds loaded with the olive-drab cans that kept the Allied war machine rolling. Without the Jerrycan, the Red Ball Express would have been fatally inefficient. The rapid advance after D-Day would have sputtered to a halt. In the dense forests of the Ardennes during the Battle of the Bulge, and on the frozen plains of the Eastern Front, the ability to quickly and safely transport fuel was the difference between victory and defeat. A tank without fuel is just a 30-ton steel bunker. A fighter plane without fuel is a useless sculpture of aluminum. The Jerrycan ensured that Allied firepower could be brought to bear where and when it was needed most. It was a powerful demonstration of a fundamental military principle. Logistics are often more important than sheer firepower. After the war, the Jerrycan story didn't end. Its design was so perfect, so universally practical, that it became the global standard for portable liquid containers. You can find them today in every corner of the world, used by off-road enthusiasts, campers, farmers, and aid organizations. Its form is instantly recognizable, a testament to its unparalleled functionality. It's a rare example of a military invention that has found a peaceful and enduring place in civilian life. So the next time you see one of these iconic cans, remember its incredible history. Remember the German engineers who designed it, the Allied soldiers who captured and copied it, and the vast industrial might that produced it by the millions. This simple steel box is a monument to ingenuity and a stark reminder that wars are not only won by weapons, but by the humble containers that keep them moving. It is the can that helped win the war. Wars are not only won by weapons, but by the containers that keep them moving.